Hi everyone! In this episode we'll be looking at what has happened on Medway over the last month, the start of a new series of Kev tries. We've got, I think, an exciting new relivery and some new additions to Medway, so stay tuned. Hi all, and I'll start as Robert's train set would do, with a cuppa. Mine's tea. Lovely. So, what's been happening over the last months on Medway? Well, there's been some more work on the Lair, and mostly in the scenic side and a little bit more detailing, and you'll see that a little bit later. In the video, we've got the first of the Kev tries series, and it's me just having a go at different things. This time it's trees. The series will not be a how-to, more how I did it and how I got on, and I hope you'll find that interesting. Also, which I think is quite exciting, I have a relivery of a Bachmann 158, and I'll talk you through that just a little bit later. Also, I picked up some cheap wagons, and what I propose to do is try out weathering and some relivery of those as well, and that will form part of the Kev tries series as well. And some new additions, again carrying on with my can I get a decent model nearly up to today's standards but sort of a fraction of the price. And again, I'll talk you through what's the latest on that as well. And then finally, what I'd like to say is that if you haven't already caught Graham at Lakeside's video, great news is it looks like his wife Hazel is on the mend, and Graham is managing to get back up onto the layout room. So my very best wishes go out to them, and let's hope and wish Hazel a full recovery. So, to use that well-known phrase, without further ado, let's get on with it. So the latest update on the Lair is a bit more work has been done on this station side. As you can see, the seafoam trees are in place. I've also put bushes around the side, and the back scene will be going on now shortly. And if we pan around just to the church area, you'll see again that some seafoam trees are in place. If we move around, I'm not sure if this was on the last update, but as you can see, there's a welder just cutting old wells. So that's just been fitted in. See, there you are, you can see the effect. You just move around. We've got a few more of the fine scalp figures that are now in place. If I pan back out, I've just got some bubblier, ubiquitous plants on the side of the railways, just along the side there, in the bushes. And there's a view of the church. On the station, really, the only thing that's changed are, if I move just around, you can see the train display boards. A couple of more fine scale figures. The one on the left, those are the ones that have been painted by myself. There's a chap there wondering when the train's actually going to arrive. We move to the side there, and these ones on the left, they were painted by myself. PlayStation display boards again. If I move you just over to here, there's a loving couple. There's a lady with her coffee, chap waiting for the train, the chap with the rucksack, that was one that I painted. Move across, and just here, and there's somebody who's pleased to have met his girlfriend off the train while dad and young boy is waving at the train. And again, just at the back, the young fella, that was one that I painted. So really just getting figures put on. So we'll just have a look at the 66 go past. Next up, I suppose, in the Kev Tries series is painting model figures. Now, something I'd put off for a long while. I thought fat fingers, dodgy eyes, it's not conducive to painting small 00 gauge figures. So I then went down the route of Hardy's Hobbies, and who you can get them pre-painted. Same with things like Model Scene and the Beckman Scene-Craft range. Now they're brilliant and they're really good quality, but the only thing is, of course, is the expense. Where you'd pay a couple of pounds for unpainted 3D figures, to paint them you're looking around about £5 each. So you know, it's over double the cost. So I bit the bullet after seeing that fine scale figures, which I had got some of their pre-painted ones, and I think Sue Matthews does them, and it's really high quality on the layout. And I don't know if you remember the fight scene, and that has some of their figures there. But they went off air for a while, late last year. I think they were moving premises and resetting their website up, but they're back with a vengeance, and I'll put a link down below. So I bit the bullet, bought a few of the unpainted versions. I've got a helping hands which has got the magnifying glass. That helped a lot. Also, having decent paints, I use Vallejo, and also, more importantly, I think, is a paintbrush which has got a very thin brush head and quite tall brush head, and yeah, you can be quite accurate with it. So I had a go, and you the jury, can give your verdict and see what you think. I'll put some pictures up. But you've got to realise that you're going to be looking at it probably from a distance of 2 to 3 feet. So yeah, I'm pleased with them. I think they look okay. I think if I'm going to be doing a diorama or a scene which is a centre point, I might pay the extra and get the suit to pre-paint them. But yeah, I shall carry on, and certainly loco crew. I'd like to get crew in the locos as well. The thing I like about fine scale figures is that they come with the 3D base still attached, so it's quite easy to sort of manipulate them and get them into the areas for painting. Also, I don't know what resin they use, but it accepts paint very well, and I found that I didn't need to prime them. So yeah, I was pleased with the result. I also went Brian at Smart Models. He does a little telephone engineer bending down an open telephone box that you see on the high streets. So I picked up one of those, plus some of his loco crew, and again I've painted those, and you can have a look and see what you think. I did find that perhaps priming them first would be worth it, and perhaps the detail wasn't as good as fine scale, But again, I'm quite pleased, and you'll see that up on the layout. So yeah, that was my first attempt at painting, and yeah, see what you think. Tree making. Now there are numerous different methods you can do, as well as buying ready-made ones. Some better, some others. Some cheap, some expensive. I thought I'd have a go at a couple of methods. The first one is just using seafoam and getting some of the bigger pieces and then using scatters and making trees from them. And you'll see how I got on with that. The other method is the old wire one. Now, there are quite a few different variations of that. Kathy Millett does one. Richard at St Michael's Hill does one as well. But one I stumbled across was Gary at Cheeky Tech, and I will put a link down below in the comments. Using florist wire, some waxy tape. He used the stuffing for toys, but what I did is use some of the smaller bits of seafoam and then scatter. And so you'll see how I got on. I was quite pleased with it, and it's not a bad cost-effective way. So I'll run you through what I did, and perhaps you can give me your verdict. As you may be aware, I'm planning to run Medway from early BR era right up to the present day. Now, for Southern Region passenger stop, there's not an issue. There's plenty of ready to run Southern Region EMUs, Network Southeast. But after that and into privatisation, there isn't much ready to run stuff around at all. Now, for present day, the only item is the Hornby Class 395 Javelin, which I have got. But for the what I'd call the normal stopping services, there isn't anything at all. So, with a bit of artistic license, I thought about converting a DMU into Southern Region livery. So I put the feelers out, and a few people came back to me, and I sourced a Bachmann 158, which had been DCC converted, and I sent it over to Laura McWilliams at UK D&E, and I think she's done a brilliant job on it. You'll see some pictures and you'll see some of it running, but it has enabled me, and I know it will upset people because they're DMUs, not EMUs, but you have to have a compromise. As I say, there's no ready to run items out there. And I think it's pretty convincing compared to the what we've got, the 375s that actually do run. And I'll put a picture of one of those up as well for you. So that was the project. I'm happy with it. I've got something else up my sleeve as well, but have a look and see what you think. I just want to chat with you. I suppose it's a little cautionary tale of issues I've had with tech. And first off, may I say that it's probably all down to me, certainly not the manufacturers who involved who continue to provide great products and brilliant service. First off, if you remember, my original track plan had, I think, 12 points. I was under the idea that I wanted them all motorized and I wanted working signals. And with that, I think it was 2019, I went to the Great Electric Train Show up at Milton Keynes and was chatting to the DCC Concepts fellas because I wanted something that was as easy as possible, almost plug and play. I chatted to them and they said their Cobalt IP motors plus the Alpha control panel would work. And there they done me a very good deal. I got the Alpha control plus also the upgrade Alpha power, where you get a nice regulated, controlled, smooth 5 amps power source. So that was 2019. And then, as you're aware, those who have followed me, my grandiose plans, in reality, once I got track laying, was just ridiculous, really. I fell into the trap of trying to cram as much track in as possible, and it really just wasn't working. And those of you now know, I think I've now got 5 points. So I didn't need the Alpha control because, to be honest with you, I could, for my little operating well, I can reach all the points without any issue at all. So I've gone digital. I use this finger to change them. And to be honest with you, saved a fair amount of money at 20-25 quid a pop for the point motors. So the Alpha control was sold at a loss. And then I bought a Alpha meter, which I must say is a brilliant product. Looks really nice. And I just wanted to test that. So I wired it in just to my existing control, which is the NCE power cab, and realised that, okay, the maximum locos I'll be running at any one time, because I've only got 2 loops and some shunting areas and sidings, will be 3 trains realistically, or 3 locos realistically, probably 2. And when I put 3 on to the track, and they all had sound, then with those locos, with the ground signals, with the train tech working signals, I was only using about 0.3, 0.4 of an amp. So I thought, do I really need the extra power on there? I've got a 10 by 8, locos at the maximum. Do I really need it? So it never been used, never been taken out of the boxes. Put it on eBay, sold it, again at a loss, especially when you include the postage. And then the guy who bought it contacted me after I obviously sent it to him. Didn't work. He contacted DCC Concepts, and they seemed to think that it was a signal issue from the alpha control, or the alpha box. Power was going to the track, but no signal was going to the locomotive. So I had to refund him the money. The issue there was it was over a year since I bought it, 2019 October. I was effectively the second owner, wasn't the first owner because I'd sold it, and I hadn't tried it out. But I contacted DCC Concepts, and Richard Brighton came back to me. And fair play to him, he could have just said, look, you're out of warranty, you sold it, yeah, tough luck. But I've sent it off. He said send it to them and they'll have a look at it, and I have done. And realistically, I don't know, the cost of repair. Do I really want to be spending more money? I think I'm down at the moment. I don't know, it cost me, I think, 130 for both of those. Do I really want to spend more money on something that's not working, or I don't really need, rather? Also, he did say that perhaps they could do something where I hand it back and they give me some credit, which I'd be fine. If I got a decoder out of it, then okay. But that's just a cautionary notice. What I would say, where I fell down, I was sucked into the tech excitement of shiny things at exhibitions without really thinking, do I really need it? What I should have done is got the track down first, had it operated, then looked at it. That's a novice mistake. If you are buying something and not intending to use it for a while and it's tech, I would suggest that you sort of temporarily wire it up to give it a try, which is what I did with the alpha meter, and that's now permanently installed. So that's one thing. Secondly, as some of you will know, I use the train tech signals, the sensor signals. So as a train goes past, it flips the signal and resets itself after a while. One of those stopped working. Again, David at Train Tech, excellent guy, said to me, send it over and he'll have a look. And there was no visible sign of damage to it. I looked at it. But when he got it back and opened it up, obviously I have knocked it, and a couple of contacts have come loose. And again, so that was a wasted signal. 40 quid a go is not cheap. He offered to do me a deal where they'd do a replacement at half the price, which was, again, they didn't need to. But the signal is in an area where not normally you see it operating. So I just had it glued and sent back. But again, did I want to spend another 20 odd pounds for it? So that, again, if you just be careful with tech, tech isn't robust. So do be prepared for that. But again, this is just caution tales, and it's not saying anything against the manufacturers who do produce brilliant products. So there we are. That's my tales of woes. Just be careful, folks, and there we have it. Buyer beware. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I certainly enjoyed trying out those new skills. Sometimes I think we doubt ourselves and don't try things out. But what's the worst that can happen? We make a mess of it and chuck it away and start again. But when you do something and it comes out okay, then it does boost your confidence. So I should be looking to try some new uh, further adventures, such as the weathering, and don't forget the airbrush that I got as well. And I'll record those warts and all. Um, just like to say a big thank you to everybody who watches the videos and comments. They're much appreciated. If at all you've commented and I haven't replied, I apologise, but it's a YouTube phenomenon where sometimes comments just disappear. So if you haven't had a reply, fire me another one up and hopefully it'll get through. We've gained a few more subscribers and you are very welcome on board. And also, as usual, a big thank you for those who have carried through watching from the start. It really is appreciated. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, uh, as everybody says, it doesn't cost anything. Just press a button, ding the bell, and you'll be notified when I'm next up, which I try to do once a month. But saying that, with the layout progressing a bit, I'm looking to do perhaps some more longer running shots, and maybe just do a 2 or 3 minute videos popping up on their own. So I'll sign off now, and as usual, everybody please stay safe. Lucky enough, I've had my first COVID vaccine jab. Mrs. Medway, who is ambulance crew, has had both of hers, and daughter number one, who's a trainee paramedic but out on the road, she's just had her second one too. So hopefully things will ease shortly, and you never know, we might actually get to go to some exhibitions, and if we do, it'd be great if we could meet up. So, as I will always say, goodbye, stay safe, happy modelling. Cheers, everyone.